I, 32 male, am sitting here in my apartment, boxes of my ex-girlfriend stuff stacked by the door, still processing the absolute audacity of what happened last week. Victoria, 29, and I had been together for 3 years. Lived together for the last 18 months in my apartment. Things weren't perfect lately. She'd been distant, always on her phone, going out for girls' nights that seemed to happen 3 times a week. Classic signs, I know, but I figured we were just in a rough patch. Last Wednesday, she sits me down with this serious expression. I'm thinking she wants to talk about our issues, maybe work through things. Nope, I need to tell you something, she says, and there's this little smirk playing at her lips. I've met someone, my actual soulmate. I'm leaving you for him. The way she said it, like she was proud of herself, like she expected me to break down or beg. I just nodded. Okay, who is he? The smirk got bigger. His name is Garrett. Garrett Reeves. You would know him. He's everything you're not. Successful, ambitious, romantic. He owns his own consulting firm. We've been seeing each other for 2 months, and I've never felt this way about anyone. That's when I couldn't help but smile. Because Garrett Reeves? Yeah, I know him pretty well. He's been my brother-in-law for 5 years. Garrett Reeves. I repeated. Dark hair, about 6 feet 1 inch. Has that scar on his left eyebrow from a skiing accident. Her face changed a bit. The smirk wavered. How do you? I pulled out my phone, scrolled through my photos, and showed her a picture from my photo album. A wedding invitation, cream-colored with gold lettering. You're invited to celebrate the marriage of Garrett Reeves and Natalie Cooper. That's my sister, I said calmly. They got married 5 years ago. They have a 2-year-old daughter named Lucy and another baby on the way. The smirk completely vanished. Her face went white, then red. No, she said. No, he said he was divorced. He said his ex was crazy and keeping his kid from him. He lied. I said simply, they're very much married. In fact, they just got back from their anniversary trip to Napa 2 weeks ago. Nat posted tons of photos. I showed her my sister's Instagram. There was Garrett all over it. Recent photos. Kissing my pregnant sister. Playing with Lucy. Family dinner from literally 4 days ago. Victoria stood up, shaking. You're lying. You're making this up because you were jealous. Call him, I said. Right now. Tell him you know about Natalie. She grabbed her phone, hands trembling, and stormed into the bedroom. I could hear her on the phone, voice getting higher and more frantic. Then silence. Then screaming. She came back out, tears streaming down her face, and had the absolute audacity to yell at me. You knew. You knew this whole time, and you didn't tell me. You just told me about him 5 minutes ago. I pointed out. Was I supposed to be psychic? You must have known I was seeing someone. I suspected. But you're the one who chose to have an affair. You're the one who believed whatever lies he fed you. And you're the one who just sat there smirking while telling me about your soulmate. She tried to flip the script then. Said I was heartless. That I should comfort her. That we could work through this together since we were both betrayed. We weren't both betrayed. I said, you cheated on me. For 2 months. The fact that the person you cheated with was also lying to you doesn't make you a victim here. I told her she had 48 hours to get her stuff out. She started crying harder, saying she had nowhere to go, that she needed time to process this. You can process at a hotel, I said, or call one of your girlfriends from all those nights out. I'm done. The entitled behavior that followed was something else. But that's for the update. Update 1. The 48 hours came and went. Victoria didn't move out. Instead, she dug in like a tick. Thursday morning, she acted like nothing happened. Made breakfast, tried to kiss me goodbye when I left for work. I dodged it and reminded her she had 24 hours left to pack. Baby, we need to work through this together, she said. We're both victims of Garrett's manipulation. No, we're not. Move out, Victoria. When I got home from work, she'd rearranged the furniture and lit candles everywhere. Rose petals on the bed. She was wearing lingerie I'd bought her for her birthday. I choose you, she announced, like she was doing me some huge favor. I realize now that what we have is real. Garrett was just a mistake. I walked right back out and crashed at my buddy Derek's place. Texted her that she now had 12 hours. Friday morning, I get a call from my sister Natalie. Victoria had contacted my pregnant sister. Your psycho ex just messaged me on Facebook, Nat said. She's claiming I stole Garrett from her and that they're soulmates. Is she insane? I explained everything. Nat was furious, not at me, at both Victoria and Garrett. Turns out this wasn't Garrett's first rodeo. He'd cheated before, early in their marriage, and they'd done counseling. Nat thought he'd changed. I'm done with him, she said. But your ex is delusional if she thinks she has any claim here. She knew he was married. She says she didn't know. Bullshit. His Facebook says married. His Instagram has family photos. She knew. Friday afternoon, I go back to my apartment with Derek and another friend to make sure Victoria leaves. She's there with 3 suitcases and her best friend Qley, who immediately starts attacking me. You're throwing her out when she's at her most vulnerable. What kind of man does that? The kind whose girlfriend cheated on him for 2 months, Derek said before I could answer. God bless Derek. Victoria then drops this bomb. I'm pregnant. Everyone freezes. She's holding a pregnancy test, showing 2 lines. It's yours, she says, looking at me with tears in her eyes. From before Garrett. We could be a family. I look at the test. Something seems off. When did you take this? This morning. Can you take another one? Right now? I'll buy it. Her face changes. You don't trust me? No, I don't. Qley starts screaming about trust and respect. Victoria refuses to take another test. I pull out my phone and do a reverse image search on a hunch. The exact same pregnancy test photo shows up on a pregnancy forum from 2019. You screenshot this from the internet, I said, showing everyone my phone. Silence. Victoria grabs her bags and storms out, Qley trailing behind her, still trying to defend her friend's honor. Saturday morning, Victoria's mom Sharon calls me, not to apologize for her daughter's behavior. Oh no, to demand I pay Victoria 3 months' rent for illegal eviction and emotional damages. She's heartbroken and homeless because of you, Sharon says. A real man would take responsibility. Your daughter cheated on me, lied about being pregnant, and tried to manipulate me. She's getting nothing. She gave you 3 years of her life, and I gave her free housing for 18 months. We're more than even. Sharon threatened legal action. I welcomed it, considering I had text proof of Victoria admitting to the affair. But the real drama started Sunday, when Victoria decided to take her story public. Update 2. Victoria went on a rampage, trying to control the narrative. But not on social media like you'd expect. She did something worse. She showed up at my parents' house during Sunday dinner. My mom called me, confused. Victoria's here crying. She says you threw her out after she was sexually assaulted? I drove over immediately. Found Victoria in MY childhood home on MY parents' couch, spinning some insane story about how Garrett had coerced her, that she was practically assaulted, and that I'd abandoned her in her time of need. My dad, bless him, was suspicious. If you were assaulted, why didn't you go to the police? Victoria's story kept changing. First, Garrett forced her. Then he manipulated her. Then he promised to leave his wife. Then she didn't know he was married. I pulled my parents into the kitchen and showed them the text Victoria had sent me just days earlier, including gems like, Garrett makes me feel alive in ways you never could. The sex is incredible. He actually knows what he's doing. I've been faking it with you for years. My mom read them, her face getting harder with each message. She walked back into the living room. Get out of my house, she told Victoria. Now. Victoria tried to cry harder, but my mom wasn't having it. You cheated on my son, and now you're lying about it. Leave before I call the police. Monday, I get a call from my building's management office. Victoria had called them claiming she was an illegal subtenant being evicted without proper notice. Problem was, she was never on a lease and had explicitly agreed in writing, I had texts, that she was a guest, not a tenant. The building manager laughed it off but warned me to change my locks. Tuesday was when Garrett finally entered the picture directly. He showed up at my apartment. We need to talk man to man, he said. No, we don't. You need to talk to my sister about why you've been screwing around. Again. Look, Victoria's crazy. She's threatening to tell my boss, my clients. She says she'll ruin me if I don't leave Natalie. Sounds like a you problem. Can't you control your woman? She's not my woman. She's your problem now. He actually tried to bro code me. Come on, we're family. Help me out here. Tell Victoria to back off, and I'll make it worth your while. I got a consulting contract that could use someone with your skills. Are you trying to bribe me to clean up your affair? I'm trying to help us both out. Get off my property before I call Natalie and tell her you're here trying to bribe me. He left, but not before saying, you're making a big mistake. Victoria's not stable. She'll come after you too. Wednesday, Victoria proved him right. She submitted a claim to small claims court for 3 months' rent, $4,500. Emotional damages, $5,000. Her share of furniture she never paid for, $3,000. Lost wages from being too traumatized to work, $2,000. Total, $14,500. The kicker? She hadn't worked in 6 months. She quit her job to focus on her art. She sold 2 paintings on Etsy in that time for $30 each. Thursday, Natalie called. She was leaving Garrett and moving back in with our parents temporarily. She also had news. Garrett had been sued for sexual harassment at his company 2 years ago. It was settled quietly. The woman looked a lot like Victoria. And like Natalie, Garrett had a type. I'm going to bury him in the divorce, Nat said. And your ex is going to be Exhibit A. Friday, the best part. Victoria's mom, Sharon, called again. But this time she was panicked. Victoria needs to drop everything right now, she said. Why would she do that? Because Garrett's wife just contacted me. She has evidence of everything. Turns out, Natalie had hired a PI after the first cheating incident years ago. She never fully trusted Garrett again. The PI had photos of Garrett and Victoria together at hotels, at restaurants, making out in his car, all dated and time-stamped. But here's the beautiful part. In several photos, Victoria is wearing her work badge. From a job she hadn't quit yet. During hours she was supposed to be working. At her government job, where time card fraud is a federal offense. Natalie wasn't just going after Garrett in the divorce. She was considering sending the evidence to Victoria's former employer. Tell your daughter to drop the small claims case and leave me alone, or Natalie sends those photos to the Department of Labor, I told Sharon. That's blackmail. No, that's consequences. Victoria committed time card fraud to have an affair. That's on her. Final update. Victoria dropped the small claims case within 24 hours. But she couldn't let it go entirely. She sent me one last text. You and your sister ruined my life. Garrett and I could have been happy. I didn't respond, but Natalie did. She sent Victoria a cease and desist letter, along with a timeline of Garrett's affairs. Victoria wasn't special. She was number for that Natalie knew about. The divorce proceedings between Natalie and Garrett got ugly fast. Victoria got subpoenaed as a witness. She tried to claim spousal privilege. She wasn't his spouse. Then tried to plead the fifth. It was civil court. Then claimed she couldn't remember anything until Natalie's lawyer showed her the photos. The best part was when Victoria tried to claim she was also a victim and should be compensated from Garrett's assets in the divorce. The judge actually laughed. Out loud. Ma'am, you knowingly engaged in an affair with a married man. You're not entitled to anything except perhaps a lesson in moral judgment. Garrett ended up losing. The house, marital asset, went to Natalie. 70% of his business, built during marriage with Natalie's support, paying massive alimony and child support. His reputation, Natalie made sure everyone knew why they divorced. Victoria ended up homeless, couching surfing with increasingly frustrated friends. Jobless, her old employer did investigate the time card fraud. Single, Garrett blocked her on everything the moment the divorce was filed. With a reputation as a homewrecker, small city, word travels. She moved back in with her parents in another state. Last I heard from a mutual friend, she was working a call center and telling anyone who'd listened that she was the victim of a narcissistic abuse conspiracy between me and my sister. Qley actually reached out to apologize last week. She said Victoria had been lying to her too, claiming I was abusive and controlling. When she saw the actual evidence during the court proceedings, she went to support Victoria. She realized her friend was delusional. She still thinks Garrett's going to come back for her, Qley told me. She says once his divorce is final, they'll be together. Garrett's engaged to someone new, I told her. One of his clients. Started dating her before the divorce was even filed. Jesus. Poor woman. Natalie's already warned her. Sent her the whole file. Woman's still staying with him. Some people never learn. True that. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Got a promotion at work. Turns out not having relationship drama improved job performance. Started dating someone new. Someone who doesn't think lying and cheating is a personality trait. And Natalie and I are closer than ever. Nothing bonds siblings like taking down each other's toxic exes. The apartment feels different now. Lighter. I replaced all the furniture Victoria had claimed was partly hers. It wasn't. Got a new couch that doesn't have memories attached. Even repainted the walls. Found out something funny last week. Victoria had been telling people we were engaged. She bought herself a ring and everything. Told her co-workers I proposed. Her whole fantasy life was built on lies. And when it came crashing down, she couldn't handle reality. Sharon still occasionally texts me, trying to guilt me into helping Victoria. Apparently, Victoria is convinced I'm going to come to my senses and take her back. She tells people we're on a break and that I'm just being stubborn. It's been 2 months now since that night. She smirked and told me about her soulmate. That smirk haunted me for a while, the pure entitlement of it. The confidence that she was trading up. The assumption that I'd be devastated. Instead, she played herself. Spectacularly. And Garrett? He's getting married next month to his new victim. Natalie and I are taking bets on how long it lasts. I give a year. Nat says 6 months. The funniest part? Victoria still has that wedding invitation photo I showed her saved on her phone. Qley said she stares at it sometimes, like she's trying to figure out where it all went wrong. Where it went wrong was thinking she could smirk in my face while announcing her affair. Where it went wrong was believing a married man's lies. Where it went wrong was thinking actions don't have consequences. But mostly, where it went wrong was underestimating the Cooper siblings. We protect our own.